Hey guys, Ashley here, also known as the Asian fan. I am back today with a new video, and I am back with the Gossip Girl vs. the OC series. I promised you guys that I'll bring it back, and here I am today with part 3. My part 2 video did not get as many views as my part 1, and I was kind of upset by that. I think it's because a lot of people just don't like the fact that I'm kind of giving the OC a bigger advantage over Gossip Girl, and it's okay to be upset about that. I just feel like when it came to the writing, that the OC was way stronger because they actually, I don't think I've mentioned this either, is that the OC, they actually talked like teenagers. Like, I feel like when they were talking at the time, it was about teenage things. Like, I feel like in Gossip Girl, at the time they were talking, it wasn't about things like going on in school, like about a test or a project. It was always about ridiculous things like who slept with who. And you know what, that's fine too. Sometimes it's like that in high school, but like all the time. Or it was them having parties every single day on a school night. So you get what I'm going with this. So that's why I just gave the OC a bigger advantage over Gossip Girl when it came to writing, because it's things like that. It makes it really hard to see them as teenagers when they're doing so many adult things and not being held accountable for those type of actions. Well, let's move on to my part 3. In the part 3 one, I'm going to be talking about the acting, and I feel like this is something that has to be very strong in a TV show. I feel like to convey real emotion to the audience, your actors need to be really good at what they do. Now, I feel like, personally, how I feel about this one, that should talk about the shows individually, and that's just see who wins. Gossip Girl. Honestly, I feel like out of the entire cast, there's only 3 good actors, and that is Lathan Minister, Ed Westwick, and Taylor Momsen. Blake Lively, she was Chad was not good. Rufus and Lily, I didn't care much for, and the guy that played Dan, I think his name was Penn, he was okay, but I feel like Blair, Jenny, and Chuck actually conveyed it into their emotions and really found that authenticity to really convey into their characters and give the audience something to care about. I really feel like these other characters, like Serena, she really did not have a lot of charisma to really care enough about her character. The same thing with Dan. Like, I really liked Dan a lot in seasons 1 and 2. I just don't know what the fuck happened after seasons 1 and 2. So I stopped caring about him because when his character got boring, his acting got boring. So I stopped caring. Like, I really feel like Lathan, Ed, and Taylor Momsen really always kept things very interesting to me, whether it was when they were angry, sad, or just talking. Like, I really feel like I was always interested in what they had to say and what they were doing. I really feel like to the other characters, I wasn't really all interested in what they had to say or what they were doing. Like, I cared about these 3. So I would say, as a whole, they were the 3 best actors. But when you have like a scene like everybody together, everyone did their part pretty well. Like season 2, there's a scene where Georgina comes back and Serena, this is spoiler, Serena is talking to Gabriel on the phone about the money that he just stole because he has fake embezzlements. I feel like everybody in that scene did their part. Dan did his part, Blair did her part, Serena did her part, Chuck did his part, Georgina, and Nate. They all played their parts pretty well. Like, they're not bad altogether. I just don't care about Dan's acting, Nate's acting, Vanessa's acting, or Rufus and Lily's acting to call it top notch. Like, not really. Let's go on to the OC. I feel like what the OC had over Gossip Girl was that kind of like the whole thing about it going to the teenage thing. I really feel like, and I think this is something that a lot of fans did not like, is that when the OC went dark, a lot of fans did not like it. I honestly like the idea of it going dark, because sometimes when you're a teenager, things do get dark and things do get intense and things do get very heavy, and sometimes you just can't stop yourselves from what's about to happen and those heavy things. I I love that about the OC. That when Marissa overdosed and everything, it was just very interesting to me because like I never saw that before in any other teen drama show. Like I never saw that aspect of teens doing something crazy like that. So I really love that, and it was such a good scene with Ryan carrying her out bridal style. It was just really, really, really good, and I really thought that was what acting is, like conveying real emotion. Like I honestly thought Marissa was gonna die. And like, what else is a good acting scene? I would say that the OC does have a lot of better acting moments than Gossip Girl. Like, there's not a lot of acting moments in Gossip Girl that I feel like I could go back and be like, yep, slay. There's a few, but not as many as the OC. The OC has a lot. Like I said, Marissa taking those pills. The whole thing with Oliver. Those were good acting scenes. The stuff with Ryan and his mom, like that was good stuff. The stuff with Ryan and Trey, the ending scene for season 2 for the OC, that was amazing. That was top tier acting. Marissa dying, the last confirmation between her and Ryan, that's acting. The Marissa dying, everything. Ryan, his everything, his emotion, it was all very real. I feel like that is acting. I feel like that is real. Everything with Kirsten being an alcoholic, real. Like it was just so freaking good. Everything between her and Sandy about their marriage feeling like it's crumbling. It was so good. Like it was so good. Like I really feel like those first 3 seasons is when we got to see some really good slate acting in the OC. And Gossip Girl, there is some. Like I would say, especially with Jenny. Jenny has a lot of moments to me where I feel like she kind of really slayed the screen. Season 1, the Dare Night with Blair. Season 2 when she went on her little rebellious, kind of same thing in season 1, her little rebellious stages and everything like that. Her stealing. So yeah, like I said, like there's kind of for Chuck. Because I'm thinking about this, it's kind of crazy. So yeah, you get my point with Gossip Girl. I actually, for me to even, I have to probably, like I said, there's some scenes where like it's like good scenes, but like I wouldn't say the acting was good. I would say the acting was good. It was very convincing. I wouldn't call it bad. It's not bad acting. It was convincing, but I feel like Euphoria. Not Euphoria. I feel like the OC going into that dark place, having those intense moments, is what made the acting better than Gossip Girl. Gossip Girl didn't really have a lot of dark moments, and when it did, it was fine. It was fine. The moments that they had that were dark were really fine. But I really feel like that wasn't what the show is. Not a dark show because they're not really acting like teenagers. These are teenagers. These are rich kids who kind of can do whatever they want, say whatever they please, and just are free to do whatever they want. So when it kind of goes to that dark place, it's fine. It's interesting, but it doesn't really hold up for long because that's not what the show is. It's not a dark show about teens. It's a dark show about teens acting like adults, but they're trapped in a teen world, if that makes sense. So for this one, I'm gonna have to go with, I hate to say it, I'm gonna have to go with the OC. So that's 3-0. I actually wait. Yeah, that's 3-0. OC is over Gossip Girl on this. And I never thought I would say this because my second favorite teen drama show of all time is Gossip Girl, right after One Tree Hill. So that's my opinion on the Gossip Girl versus the OC acting. Please don't hate me for picking the OC again over Gossip Girl. This is just my personal opinion on things that I've seen since watching both of these shows, and thanks for supporting me.